Chapter 6, Mishnah 2. The Mishnah continues with the laws of preventing an animal from doing damage. If he locked up his sheep in its pen properly but left it in the hot sun, or if he handed it over to a deaf-mute, an insane person, or a minor, that is, he had one of these people watch the sheep for him, and it escaped and did damage, the owner is obligated to pay for the damage because he acted negligently by leaving the sheep out in the sun or entrusting it to an unreliable person. But if he handed it over to a normal adult shepherd, the shepherd takes the place of the owner, which means that the shepherd must pay for any damage and not the owner. The Mishnah discusses the law where an animal damaged growing produce. If it accidentally fell into a garden where crops were growing, damaged the crops, and benefited from the damage it caused, he must pay what it benefited from the crops, but he does not have to pay for the damage, because the animal's fall into the garden was an unforeseeable accident, for which he is not responsible. However, if the sheep did not fall, rather it went down to the neighboring garden in its usual manner, and it did damage there, he pays the full value of what it damaged, because in this case he was negligent in letting the sheep enter the garden. The Mishnah explains how we assess damage done to a crop that was attached to the ground. How much does he pay for what it damaged? We assess how much a base se'ah of land, a relatively large area, in that field was worth before the animal damaged the produce of a small part of it, and how much that base se'ah is worth after the damage. The owner of the animal pays the difference. According to the previous Tana, the owner does not pay the cost of the damaged produce, but only the reduction in the value of the land. The next Tana basically agrees with this rule, but he makes the following exception. Rabbi Shimon says, if it ate ripe produce, which is ready to be harvested and sold, he pays the value of the ripe produce. For example, if the animal ate a se'ah of produce, he pays the price of a se'ah of produce. And if it ate two se'ahs of produce, he pays the price of 2 se'ahs of produce. This Tana holds that damage done to ripe produce, which no longer needs the ground, is assessed according to the value of the produce itself. Only damage to unripe produce, which still needs to be attached to the ground, is assessed according to the value of the land.